Hey guys, what's up? Josh Mall with Swimming Pool Science. Winding down after a long Thursday. We've got a busy Friday ahead here because it's Phoenix, Arizona. It's 105 out and everybody wants to go swimming this weekend. So a lot of work to do to get everybody dialed in, but I wanted to take a few minutes and answer some of your questions that you guys have been commenting on here on my YouTube channel. So let's start with Chili Gano, who asked about 16 hours ago, great videos. I do have a question. I'm trying to get into the business, and I've called some pool suppliers asking if you need a business license. I was told you don't need one here in Arizona. Is that true? Thanks. There was no question mark, it was just a period at the end. So Chili Gano, I did respond to you, but I'll go into it a little bit deeper. Our two main suppliers, you've got, well, actually we have three main suppliers. You've got Cloud Supply, you've got Pool Water Products, and you have SCP Superior. And I know at Cloud Supply, a place we don't shop at very often, but they have some great deals. That is the cheapest place in town to get pipe, and they've also got killer deals on Taylor kits. If you want those Taylor K2005 kits, I hear that Cloud is the place to go. It's just out of our area, but I know those guys are pretty chill down there. Pool water products, they're pretty tight on that stuff. They want to know that you're a legitimate business. They want to know that you're not just some random homeowner trying to score a deal and get cheap stuff. So you do need to go into there, and they want to know if you're a sole proprietorship. They want a business card. They're going to want a few things just to prove that you're more than just your average homeowner going in there. At SCP Superior, you can actually go in there and buy, but I think the price structure is just a little bit different. So it's not a bad idea to pursue that wholesale application, so you can get, you got to be able to make money on your parts and also offer your customers affordable pricing. So you got to count on that wholesale pricing. But if you're just doing little jobs here on the side and you're just getting into it, it might be a good idea to hunt those good deals down, maybe work with a partner with another pool company until you kind of get your footing in, you kind of get settled on what you want to do and what areas you want to focus in, and then go down and get serious about setting up that business. Maybe just register yourself as a sole proprietorship with the Arizona Department of Revenue and also the Corporation Commission, which is not hard to do. It's a little bit of paperwork. You can probably do it online now. So thanks for the question, Chili Gano. Who else do we have? Oh, we got, let's see here. Here we go. All right, this is a big one. So on my DE videos, of course, I did go back and add it in the description, and I know I touch on it in the actual videos, but keep in mind, DE is not something you want to be breathing, and you want to be very careful with. So Mark R. asked a month ago, isn't DE a known carcinogen and dangerous, especially if inhaling the dust? I put it in my filter, but never without gloves and a respirator. Hey, gloves and a respirator, those are going to keep your lungs safe and your body safe. Here's the deal with DE. You have to be careful with it. If you read the warnings on the bag, it's going to tell you right there, do not breathe this stuff in. It will kick your ass in a couple decades, so be very careful with it. One of the ways we like to handle it is when you get your DE in a bucket, carefully, you can add water to it and mix up a slurry before pouring it into your skimmer. That will keep the dust down. But yes, please be careful. Exercise extreme caution with DE. It's not quite as dangerous and toxic as asbestos, but you don't want that in your lungs, and I can tell you from personal experience, you don't want it in your eyes, because it's just, imagine gluing sandpaper to the inside of your eyelids and then blinking a whole bunch of times. That's what it feels like. So lungs, eyes, mouth, and I think it probably even goes for food grade DE, which is a thinner and finer version. You'll be like, we sometimes use that. We have chickens here, we use that there, but we try to I warn my wife and my kids to be real careful with that, because kind of the same deal. So please be careful with that DE, guys. It's can be nasty stuff, just like the dust from silica sand if you're doing a sand change on your filter. Let's see here, Mr. Skydog, pertaining to my How to Test Your Water the Right Way video, says, I was worried about the kid. Where did he land? And so the kid. Don't worry, the kid's safe. She's stumbling around in the yard right there. She's quite the little acro baby, as they call her down at the local swimming pool. And so she's good. I like to do things fun. I like to keep the videos interesting, so throwing kids around, sometimes that's one of the little tricks I use to, keep you on your toes out there in internet land. Let's see here. Oh, Mr. Skydog also asking on my How to Backwash a DE filter. I heard a bunch of pigs or hogs in the background at 20 seconds in. Were you near a farm? Well, no, not really. This is just right in my neighborhood in the 85018, not far from La Grande Orange. It's kind of the hot spot here. And there's a bunch of us that have chickens. We got dogs. There's kids around. And there used to be a pig in our neighborhood, but those people have since moved away, and the new owners did what everybody else does in Arcadia, and they knocked the whole place down and built a bigger, gianter, massiver house. And so that was the only pig I know of, but it was not within earshot. So I'm sorry, Mr. Skydog. No pigs. My wife wants goats, but we haven't talked about pigs yet. This is from Sizki, S-Z-K-I, Sizki. And it starts out, thanks so much for the detailed video. I have a couple of questions and I'm hoping that you can provide your expert opinion, which I got a little more homework to do on the surfaces, but I'm doing my best. I will answer my best. My pool company messed up and delayed the brushing of the spa after the plaster, and now the spa has turned several white has several white lines and streaks in it. 1 month post plaster and still not usable yet. Now they are saying we'll have to acid wash to remove those streaks. My questions are, number one, it's a medium small spa, 6 person, maybe 2,000 gallons, probably close to 1,000 to 800 gallons tops. Just FYI for you, that's your average size spa, is about 500 to 1,000 gallons. So, would it be better off for me to get them to just replaster? So let's start with that question. First of all, acid washing a spa is a really quick job. We drop a sub pump in, we drain the water to the pool, and in about 15 minutes, we are acid washing after that spa is drained down. Acid wash takes maybe another 20 minutes. Then we take our sub pump, we put it back in the pool, and we fill the spa back up. And that acid wash is done. We're out of there in maybe 90 minutes tops. If you're going to replaster, you're talking about having a chip out crew coming back. They got a saw cut around the tile line. They got to get in there, haul all their equipment over. And they have a minimum charge. I know Rudy at Aquarium Pool Plastering charges, his minimum is $1,600. So you're looking at $1,600 for him to show up, chip that out, replaster it. It's going to be at least a 2 to 3 day process. It's going to be dusty, dirty, and nasty. You remember what it was like when they replastered the pool. So that process all over again. So an acid wash is going to be fine. It's a brand new surface. What you got is you got that calcium carbonate that's leaching out of the plaster, and it is bonding on the surface with the calcium and everything in the water. And so that's why it has to be brushed every single day. Brush, backwash, brush, backwash, brush, backwash, as many times a day as you can. Question 2, are there any downsides to acid washing? Meaning, will it affect the color of the original plaster? So once again, brand new surface. It will affect it in that if you got somebody good acid wash, they're going to be able to really even that color out. But like I say, like I tell everybody with an acid wash, there are no guarantees. I can only guarantee when I go to an acid wash, the only thing is you're most likely going to see a change, but I cannot guarantee that plaster is not going to crack off the pool, and I cannot guarantee how good the change is going to be. I can only guarantee a change. So I'm sorry that happened. It's rough. I would just acid wash it. Let's answer question number 4. Lastly, we were told that a spa cannot be heated for up to 30 days after a plaster. Is it the same with acid washing, or will the pool be ready for use soon after the acid wash process? Really appreciate it if you could answer these for me. So here's the deal. Now, keep in mind that first 30 days after that plaster is put in, it is still curing. Remember, plaster doesn't dry like concrete. It cures because it's a chemical reaction. You have concrete, you add water, there's a chemical reaction. You cannot pour water on concrete and mix it back up and turn it into wet concrete like you can do dirt with mud. It doesn't work that way. It is a one-way chemical reaction. So the more water you have, the lower the temperature is, the slower that cure process takes place. And that is a good thing because that means it's going to be strong. Now, during that period, plaster is very temperamental. Like I said, it's got to be brushed daily. You know that already, Sizki. What you deal with when you raise those water temperatures is that your water balance changes. There's a little thing called the Langmuir Saturation Index, and that's a measurement that we use to tell if the water is going to push minerals out of solution and scale and stick, much like you find probably on your shower head if you haven't just cleaned it. You know, you get that calcium in your shower head. That's because hot water wants to push minerals out and get them out. It doesn't like having minerals in it. Cold water loves the minerals. Okay, so pH, alkalinity, the water's resistance to pH change, the amount of minerals in the water, as well as temperature, all play a factor in this scaling and corrosive balance of water. We're looking to get into that 0 mark on the scale. What can happen is you get the water off balance a little bit, you get that soft new plaster, and maybe your water's a little bit corrosive, and it pulls some of that copper out of that heat exchanger. And then it gets in the spa, and that copper goes in and it deposits itself into the plaster. Now that Copper is not a surface stain like it would be maybe if it was old or mature plaster, but it's in the plaster. So if you go back to acid wash that, it's going to take a lot to get those blue stains out. So I think that's what they're talking about. I think that's what they're worried about. So I would play it safe. I don't mess around. Now keep in mind there are ways. There's a bicarb startup that the folks down in Tucson, holy smokes, I'm blanking at their name. On Balance, Kim Skinner and Q Hales, who are absolute geniuses when it comes to water chemistry. These guys are the Einsteins of pool water chemistry. They developed, and it's really neat. You bump the alkalinity way up, and then you set the pH at a certain level, and you monitor it, and you're careful, and you keep it that way, and you will not get that plaster dust, and you don't actually have to brush this pool down. I've done that on a few startups, and it works really cool. So, all right, Sizky, I hope that answered your question. Let's move on. Let's see here. Ooh, Night Waves. That's a cool name. You must wear your sunglasses at night because you're really cool. Great job. In a crusty algae pool, does the acid dissolve the algae and suspend it so it can be pumped out? Wondering because there is a lot. Also, would the acid in algae neutralize the acid enough to reduce the amount of soda ash used in the deep end? So, you got crusty pool algae. I'm guessing that algae's been in there a while. Maybe the pH has climbed up. We got old water, and so you got a little bit of calcium mixed in with that algae, and it's kind of creating a coral reef deal there. On a situation like that, you're going to want to do essentially what I did in my draining the swamp video. You're going to want to set that thing to drain. You want to scrub it while that algae is wet. Scrub as much as you can off of that brush. A lot of that stuff's going to come off. And then once you've gotten that scrubbed and clean, you're going to have to really look at it for yourself. You can do a chlorine rinse to kill any last bit of algae, but you may still have some staining underneath. Now keep in mind, you're going to want to, if you do that chlorine rinse and then you decide to do an acid wash after that, you're going to really want to give that pool a good rinse and get rid of all that chlorine in the pool, because mixing acid and chlorine creates chlorine gas, and that can create a dangerous situation for not only you in the bottom of the pool, but your dog, your cat, your kids, your little monsters like this little brat right here, or even your neighbors if they're downwind. So it may require an acid wash after all that's said and done, but man, that chlorine rinse is so important because that chlorine's gonna get in there and kill any last bit of algae that you can't brush out. So I would take that into consideration and go that way. Let's see here, who else do we have? There was one more question I want to ask. We got one today. Oh, we got another fun comment here from Vanex R. That was 12 minutes ago. I've never owned a pool, but these pool cleaning videos are so satisfying, especially this one. Well, thanks, Vanex R. I really appreciate that. You left that 12 minutes ago. That was from our hitting the reset button, how to drain and clean out your pool. Good. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Stick around. We'll do more of these, so keep your questions coming. And we appreciate the watches, the likes, the shares. Check us out on Facebook, and we will keep coming your way because it's going to be a busy summer. Thanks, guys. All right, so before we call it quit, there's one more comment I want to address on my last video, which was, of course, titled, So You Want to Be a Pool Guy, #1, Basic Tools of the Trade. We're kind of doing a video series to kind of show you what you need, you know, both for not only for the new pool guy, but also for the homeowner that really wants to make sure he's got everything he needs to take care of his own pool. So stay tuned. And, you know, I threw some tools around. It's really fun. I get that from my dad. He's really good at throwing tools, and I learned it from watching him. So, Mr. Michael Wells says, you lost all credibility with me when you started throwing your tools around. You have so many tools that I can't afford to buy. Pretty disrespectful, I think. Okay, a couple things here. I don't know if you were joking. Funny, good, you got me on that one. There we go. How's that better? There we go. Couple other things. If you got internet access, I really hope you were doing that from a library computer, because I'll tell you what, this telephone right here is not going to make you money like a good set of tools that you could get at a yard sale or a secondhand store or from friends and relatives. So tell you what, instead of spending money on your phone, maybe cut down on the data plan a little bit and save your pennies up, go do some other odd jobs, and go hit up some yard sales and buy some nut drivers for $1 a piece, some wrenches for $1 a piece, and a few things like that. You can get a basic bare bones test kit for just a few dollars at your local Leslie's Pool Supply. So don't talk to me about tools you can't afford. I've had all those tools for years, and they're really good. And, you know, if a 14-inch channel locks can't survive being tossed into a lawn, then it's a pretty crappy tool. So sorry, Michael, but get over yourself. Go get yourself some tools. You don't have to have Snap-on tools. You can get the cheap stuff to start out with. That's what I did.
I got better stuff, and it lasts, and it's great. So, yeah. I don't want to hear it, pal. See you guys next time.